Hey guys, I'm back at Edinburgh Zoo again for their Giant Lanterns of China exhibition. My name's Arthur and this is my rolling vlog. So the first thing that I come to, and I know it's not really lanterns, but don't these lights look amazing? This is something that the regular guests might not see because this is the wheelchair route up into the main part of the zoo. It's started to rain, so I've got an umbrella up, so hopefully we'll be able to show you some of the nice lanterns. Well, this one's quite impressive. The theme this year is all about myths and legends. So there's some lanterns which obviously are with like real sort of animals, like the stag here. Then there's also some mythical creatures which you can see up at the top of the book. And I sure can pick a day where it's terrible weather to come to see this lantern. Now there should be some stuff that you might remember from last year, but there'll be some new stuff as well. I'm really liking the little tunnel up here. Remember last year's tunnel was slightly different at this point. So the lantern here is Jing Nao. Basically, Jing Nao were blue or green birds which appeared in Chinese mythology, popular stories, poetry and religion. Its name has been translated as blue or green or even black. Jing Nao is especially regarded as the messengers or as otherwise serving as the Queen Mother of the West, Ji Wangmu, who is the goddess of Chinese religion and mythology, also worshipped in neighbouring Asian countries. And it's quite a lot of information for this one lantern. It's pretty cool. So this one, and I apologise for my pronunciation, is the Monkey King or Sun Wukong. The Sun Wukong, also known as I just said, as the Monkey King, is a figure who features in a body of legends that can be traced back to the Song dynasty. He appears as the main character in the 16th century Chinese classical novel Journey to the West and is found in many later stories and adaptations. In the novel, he is a monkey born from a stone who acquires supernatural powers through Taoist practices after rebelling against heaven and being imprisoned under a mountain by the Buddha. He later accompanies the monk Tang Sanzang on a journey to retrieve Buddhist sutras from the West. Quite a lot of, as I say, information about this one lantern. So coming up to another one. So I couldn't find much information about this particular one, but all I have to say is it looks really, really beautiful. And if I zoom in, it gets rather menacing as well. It's pretty cool. And further down this path, I think we're going to come to, well, what would be my absolute favourite one, and you can probably see why. It's a nine-tailed fox. It may just be a simple animatronic type lantern, but for me, it's so big I can't actually get it all in the one shot. Prowling through the darkness, ivory fur glowing in the moonlight, a meeting with a nine-tailed fox can be a blessing, but it also could be a curse. Some will grant you great wealth, while others will seek to bewitch humans and their souls. Wisdom and power fills their tails, with a new one growing every 100 years. So as this one has 9 tails, it's 900 years old. After a millennium on Earth, a worthy fox may ascend to the heavens and join the gods. Pretty cool story to go along with my favourite animal. I'm quite worthy of my favourite animal, having a story like that. There's so much to actually see and do in this particular exhibit this year, and I would probably say it's much better than what it was last year. pretty impressive how it's in deep into the hill here. Quite effective, and you get to see everything that's there. What I like about this exhibition is when you're not actually beside any sort of lantern, well, these are lanterns, but any of the big feature lanterns, they have light features as well to entertain you as you go around. Oh, I really like this. It's pretty cool. So the tiger I showed earlier was one of the 4 beasts, one for every season. The tiger was autumn. This one here represents winter, and I'll need to see if we can find the one that represents spring. So continuing on, we'll try and find the one for autumn and for summer as we go along. And I'm not having the camera on me quite a lot so far because everything here is quite visual. So this one here is called Lady of Flowers. What I like about it is that it looks so majestic and almost like she's floating, which is pretty cool. Or even flying even. And I like how big of a display this particular lantern is. How it's not just the main thing, it's everything around it as well, which is pretty cool. And I'm guessing this could be autumn, this stag. So it says here that it's a 9-coloured deer, lost in a desert in the midst of a fearsome storm. A group of adventurers despaired. Their hopes of survival were slipping away when they saw 9 beautiful colours shining through the sands. Out of the storm emerged a radiant deer, colours gleaming from her coat and antlers. She led the travellers to safety, and her light remains a beacon of hope for all those who feel lost. So I've moved up to another area of the zoo, and this is quite near this bit. If you're looking for this particular one, which is called Rulers of the Deep, it's beside the performance stage. This one's pretty cool. It's quite effective how they've used, combined the use of lighting with the lanterns on top to make it appear as if it's the ocean. It's pretty cool. The story that goes along with this particular lantern is starlight glimmers on the still surface of Loch Ness. The calm waters hide a secret. Tonight, 2 worlds are about to be joined. Suddenly, Nessie erupts from the depths of the loch, resting her head to welcome the green dragon. Descending from a rain cloud from its own lake in the heavens, these rulers of the deep entwine in friendship, 2 constants in an ever-changing universe. Remember how I was telling you about about the 4 symbols of the 4 seasons? Remember I showed you the tiger and the turtle? Well, this one represents summer, and it's not to be confused with the phoenix. This is Zazaku. According to Wu Qing, the Teos 5 elemental system, it represents the fire. Correspondingly, it's described as a red bird that resembles a pheasant with a 5-coloured plumage and is perpetually covered in flames, represented by Jonagu Shrine in the southern part of Kyoto. We're now actually moving into, from the Chinese lanterns, we're now moving into the Scottish folklore. Scottish tales and myths. Oh, and I'm liking these, all the unicorns. It's pretty cool. It's very beautiful as well. Each of the main lanterns that we've shown you has a story to it, and this one's called Unicorn Blessing. Midnight, a secluded Scottish glen, everything is silent, but the air feels charged with anticipation. Suddenly, a shining white shape gallops into view. Emerald mane, aglow, the unicorn rears up, its single horn dazzling in the starlight. The glen is soon filled with unicorns, prancing in the light of the full moon. Noble and mighty, This gathering of Scotland's national animal is a rare sight, a true moment of magic. I remember last year when I was coming up to this section here, it was filled with penguins, lanterns. Obviously this year is different, so I'm interested to see what they've got here. And I remember I said a really bad joke about Frozen and Let It Go because that's what was getting played at the time. So let's see what they've got here in this particular bit. So this particular lantern is known as Arthur's Seat Dragon, and it says here, the people of Edinburgh once feared a beautiful but fearless dragon who circled the skies above, lighting the city with jets of flame. One day, after eating too much, the beast fell into a deep sleep, and slowly the earth took over, creating what is known today as Arthur's Seat. The haggis is native to the Highlands of Scotland, a curious creature with legs adapt to run around the tops of the smallest and tallest perks of the land. And I'm guessing these are the haggis. We usually tell tourists about the haggis. So I'm now coming up to something which wouldn't look out of place outside of a Harry Potter book or movie. But this isn't somebody that you'd want to meet, because this is Nuckelavee. Nuckelavee is a horse-like demon from Arcadian mythology that combines equine and human elements. It has its origins in Norse mythology and is the most horrible of all demons of Scotland's Northern Isles. Nuckelavee is a horse-like demon from Arcadian mythology, it says here, and it combines equine and human elements. It has its name in origins in Norse mythology and is the most horrible of all the demons in Scotland's Northern Isles. I told you didn't want to meet this one. The Nuck component of its name may be connate with Nick in Old Nick, a name for the devil. The Nuckelavee's breath was thought to wilt crops and sicken livestock, and the creature was held responsible for droughts and epidemics on land, despite being mostly a sea dweller. And it's quite an impressive, oh that looks a bit eerie, pretty scary stuff. Here's the full view of this particular lantern. It's a nice setup. Well, this is quite an impressive looking one, and to get the full impact you have to actually look at it from quite far back, and so it's pretty cool. There's a lot going on in it, and it's meant to simulate something to do with the Giant's Causeway. It says here, a deafening challenge echoes across the sea. The land bridge connecting Ireland and Scotland falls silent, only to erupt in a roar of sound as two giants clash. So I'm guessing these two dudes in ferocious combat. So one's got an axe and the other's got a sword. Okay, seems like a fair battle so far. As the two clash in ferocious combat, their fierce battle shakes the earth to its core. Wow, that's impressive. These two dudes can shake the earth. The seas grow wilder until the bridge shatters beneath them. Now separated by water, each returns home, fearsome that they may be, but neither can match the power of the waves. Pretty cool story. That's the thing about this. Oh, this is the Kelpie River. Shape-shifting water spirits, kelpies, appear on the riverbanks and lochsides to lonely adventurers, but a meeting can be fraught with danger. Beautiful and majestic, these giants of the water move with the currents and the waves. Those that dare mount a water horse do so at their own risk, as it quickly dives below, following the darkness as the light fades above. Ooh, I wouldn't want to come in contact with one of these, but as I've said, it's really quite impressive the way that this whole place is laid out. It's like a big one-way route. You just follow around and see everything, and I'm quite impressed by it all. And this year I think the route's a lot bigger than it was last year. There's much more to see and do, which is brilliant for the event, because last year was pretty small. But one thing I will say about this event this year, now that we've taken a slight break from all the lanterns, is that this is a quiet night. So this was a specially laid on night for people with autism or other conditions similar to that can get aggravated by loud noises. So the performers also won't be taking part tonight, and obviously the music is down low, which obviously is quite good for people who are autistic, but also good for me because I won't get done for any IP due to the loud music, which is brilliant. This is a bogle party, apparently. So a bogle is a Scottish term for ghosts or folkloric being. It's used for a variety of related folkloric creatures, including sheltycoats, bargets, brags, and the Headley-caw, and even giants such as those associated with Combs Causeway, also known as Ettins, Yettins, or Jotuns. They are reputed to live the simple purpose of perplexing mankind rather than seriously harming or serving them. Ooh, I'm liking this one. I didn't know Elsa would make an appearance here. Unstoppable power is unleashed as two goddesses collide in battle, summoning a storm of ice and snow, hence Elsa. Winter freezes the land, but just as quickly spring drives her back with a wave of warmth and rebirth. Locked in eternal combat, neither goddess will ever truly triumph. Spring may be victorious for a time, but winter always returns. Their unique powers bring balance to the planet, creating new life. Okay, I better be careful not to get done for a song from Brave getting played in the background. So this is Fairy Glen, and it's the Gaelic name for fairy. So this is basically a valley of fairies. This time last year this was filled with various different tigers and zebras and stuff. So this year they've finally changed the scene. This is known as the Sea of Magic. There's a lot going on here. Howling winds and crashing waves fill the night as the storm grows ever wilder. At its centre swims the Blue Man, his magic summoning this unstoppable force of nature. So the dude on the hill with the tornado. Far below, skates and rays shelter on the sea floor, while cyclones of sand whirl around beds of flame shells. A trio of selkies dart past a colossal basking shark, shredding their seal skins as they race towards the safety of the land. And we've now moved, as the sign says, into the real world. So let's have a look at some of the real animals. Oh, I like this. That's a pretty cool one. It's quite stunning. So this is now known as the Highland Forest. So that was the wildcat we just passed. And these ones are pine hoverflies. Quite stunning how they're all over the tree here. And last year down this bit they had a giant, absolutely massive Chinese dragon. Obviously we've not got that this year, but let's see what they have got in this area this year. So we've got some polar bears, the mother and her cub, and no cubs for this one. They've got a sort of like a food and merchandise set up over here. And then we've got some stags. Beg your pardon, is oryx. And I love the effects they've got in the trees and in the bushes as you go around. And it's not just about, you know, the stuff that the big main lanterns, as I said earlier, but it's everything that goes around with it, which is what makes this exhibit so impressive. This looks so majestic with the bushes all around the leopards. The tigers at the back. The whole scene, it just tells a whole story. It's visually impressive. Oh, I love these ones. It's the red-footed macaw. It is, it's absolutely fantastically stunning. Oh, and they've reused the toads from last year. I can't remember the story that there was to do with this toad, but I remember there was a story that was associated with them. Just the lighting, this bit here is absolutely impressively stunning. Visually, it's like a masterpiece. Oh, we're coming up to the giraffes. There's a nod to Animal Kingdom, because there's the young as well. Because they've just had a baby. Well, they've just had several babies, in fact. And we're now nearing the end. And the red pandas have returned. I remember them from last year, and they were my favourite from last year. But, of course, this year, that title's gone completely out of the window. This looks pretty menacing. It's one evil-looking red panda. That title's now gone to the nine-tailed fox, and that, I think, is my favourite from this year. And there we've got rhinos. I think that could be the last lantern of the night. This bit here is just visually stunning. Oh my gosh, look at all this! That's pretty impressive. So all these must be extinct animals. So this is the dodo, a type of penguin that's now extinct. The saber-toothed tiger. The woolly mammoth. If the board was to be believed, this may be a Tasmanian tiger, but to me, this is no tiger, that's a wolf. So this must be some sort of extinct wolf. So this apparently is a Tasmanian tiger. Let me know in the comments, does this look more like a tiger of the feline variety, or does it look more like a wolf of the canid variety? Oh, I almost just went off a massive drop. That wouldn't have been too clever. So this is one I was trying to show you before I almost fell off a giant drop. I like all the various different colours that make up this lantern. Pretty visually appealing. I had a great time today, and I thought I would end my vlog by my favourite lantern of the night, which is the nine-tailed fox. And I'm quite impressed this year because the exhibition is so much bigger than what it was last year, and there's so much more things to see, so much more things to do. Last year we never had any sort of like market with the merchandise, which they have this year. Improved massively from last year. I've got many more adventures to come, but for now it's time for me to roll on to my next adventure.